My BlackBerry was sort of going crazy. I got news broadcasts every 5 minutes of people who had been watching the video.
It's so easy to make a video, you know, show it to your friends, because all you need to do is click a button and you shared it.
It came up on my Facebook page, so I watched the video, it had 1,000 views, and now it has kind of 20 million views.
Somebody has 700 friends. All you need to do is watch a video, share it, then 700 people can see it.
Everything was coming up, Kony, 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 and I was at a loss to what it was. And so it was out of the blue almost, but I cannot imagine forgetting his name.
It was very nice to see so many people getting so interested in what was happening in Uganda, but I thought it was a little bit dodgy.
It really did move me, and I thought everyone was really sort of upset. Everyone was crying, and it was amazing. It was a really, really powerful video.
I thought it simplified the sort of whole Central African civil war situation far too much than what it's really like.
It was interesting because it did show you what was actually happening, but it was also, it wasn't like, it didn't make it depressing.
This man, Kony, who's just one of the most horrible men I've ever heard of in my life, he is kidnapping children, he is turning them into sex slaves, he is turning them into child soldiers who are so emotionless that they will kill their own parents.
I hadn't heard of him before, but I have heard about the rebels and also the child soldiers.
It's more what it didn't tell us than what it did. It focused a lot on Joseph Kony, and I suppose that makes sense, seeing as it is all about him. Except it sort of set him up as the only problem in Uganda in regards to war and violence.
I don't think he is really, like, he is a large problem, but I don't think he is the biggest. I think there are many problems in Africa, but you have to focus on one at a time. You can't just fight everything at the same time.
It didn't mention the fact that I think is it 3 or 4, you know, governments have been taken down by successive rebellions, and it didn't mention that, you know, there's been atrocities on both sides.
Once I'd watched it, because I was so interested about it, I went and I looked it up on like Wikipedia, and it did become really apparent that they weren't telling both sides of the story, and that the Ugandan government were just as bad nearly as Kony.
I couldn't really believe it, to be honest. Like I didn't realise how sick like one person could actually be.
I'd heard of the LRA, and I knew that there was a certain degree of civil war in Uganda and especially in Sudan. I mean, I think most people have heard about the crisis in Darfur, but I didn't know much at all about Joseph Kony until last night.
Facebook was one of the main ways that it's been shared. I mean, yesterday, 100 of my friends, like including people in New York and Australia, they'd all been sharing the video, and it was crazy how quickly it had travelled. So I think it was the internet, and it sort of just shows how powerful the internet can be.
They had this package that'll give you a bracelet, and it was helping, you know, publicise Kony even more. But the package ended up costing about £30.
Even if it's the smallest thing, like buying the bracelet, I would be happy to show that I have supported and helped the cause in some way.
How much do you think it costs?
Probably £1 or £2, I'm not sure.
£2, £3? I don't know, I don't think it would be that expensive.
And if I told you it was around $30 altogether, would that change your mind about buying it?
It would make me think twice about it.
I heard from my friend that this charity, Invisible Children, only actually used 34% of the money that they got to Uganda. So it does, you know, raise suspicions.
Funny enough, what actually sort of made me sort of feel sick, if you like, was the ridiculously, I felt, upbeat nature of how it portrayed the campaign. In that, I think most of the white American, you know, educated people we saw, they're all a bit too happy, I felt, and it was a bit too much, you know, let's go out and do it, rather than actually sincerely sitting back and looking at what was going on.
He is a cruel man, and he needs to be stopped, and people are trying to stop him, and I think this is what this video, the main message is: we need to stop him.
You wouldn't expect people to just spend half an hour of their time just watching a film on the internet, but it just shows how devastating and important this matter actually is, and how much people actually do want to understand more about it.
The film appealed to, I think, everyone who watches its sense of right and wrong, but it does that too sort of narrowly, I think, to actually bring about a purely positive result.